All right, good evening, everybody. It's Jay here at Graytoqueops. Just want to make a quick video here. Have a few followers that are wondering, what we're about, why we do what we do, how we do it. So we just want to very quickly just broach on what it takes to, I suppose, get into small batch manufacturing, rapid prototyping in 3D printing. It's not by any means a new technology. It's been around for decades, but with the several patents that have expired, desktop 3D printers are becoming more and more commonplace, and it's kind of revolutionizing the manufacturing industry. So you're starting to see more and more individuals getting them, figuring out what are the capabilities of doing rapid prototyping, design, 3D modeling. So I mean that's pretty much where it all starts. So you kind of decide that you have a use for one and start designing things that are useful to yourself, and the next thing you know, you're designing things, all kinds of things for your kids' toys, tooling, jigs and whatnot. Right now on the printer we have we're making another mount to go on the walls, so that in future videos we can do some GoPro image, very up close and personal to the machine, that we're going to time lapse. There's a misconception of people with the machines is they think that they're really fast, and on a manufacturing standpoint they are fast, but they're not that fast. This piece stands about 1.5 inches, and it's going to take about 2 hours to make. So if you're not a patient person, this is not the thing that you want to sit and watch. Anyways, moving on. Graytoqueops started with obviously myself. My background is in the automotive industry. For the last probably good 10 years, I've been working on mostly sports cars and high-end marques: BMW, Mercedes, Jaguar, Ferrari, and working in that industry, you tend to accumulate a lot of tools. And my introduction to this industry, we'll say, was in tool storage. Just simple requirement of needing customized tool storage. So that's why I bought it. That's why I got into it, and it kind of just expanded from there. Graytoqueops has sort of filled a niche market where individuals who know me and my skill set will contact me for certain projects, kind of unique projects. Nothing's really ever the same, but that's what we do. We take in projects on a unit basis and try and fulfill the need of the client, because obviously if you're going to someone who's doing this on a smaller scale than large scale manufacturing, obviously you're doing it because you don't desire spending a lot of money, and that's where small batch manufacturing and rapid process manufacturing comes into play, because you can develop something very quickly without wasting a lot of material, and you can do it at a very low cost. So for someone that's maybe has a particular part for something that's no longer available, and it would cost thousands of dollars to get a mold made to produce the product in tens of thousands of parts, it doesn't make any sense. So we satisfy the client in the sense that we can produce parts, rapidly develop a part over the course of sometimes days, or usually in the time span of a month. Do verification of the part, and then produce it either 1 or 2 or 3 pieces, or we can go to other suppliers and small batch them up to, you know, tens of thousands if that's what you're looking for, in a wide range of materials. So anyways, we have a number of projects that are on the go currently, but that's, in a nutshell, that's what Graytoqueops is about. Doing small batch production for clients that are looking for a very specific product. Anyways, and then so moving on, the reason why we're here today is because we just wanted to sort of show what a makerspace is about, as they call it. This is not my shop. This is not where I go and, you know, whack a ball joint out of a car. This is not where I go and I cut a sheet of plywood. This is specifically designed to model in 3D. Sort of, you know, I've got my music, I've got my everything set up, I've got some sound insulation. This is where I come to make my models in peace and quiet. I have everything that I need in the space. I've got you know, powered USB hub for the various connections to the camera, various odds and sods. Everything is connected through its own dedicated power monitor, so I know exactly how much power usage I'm using, and the entire system can be killed with one switch. So if there's ever an issue, I can shut the entire system off. We've got a, you know, dedicated vacuum system, because plastic has a tendency to go everywhere. I have direct ventilation with a fan. I have its own temperature and humidity control in the space, because the plastics do tend to be a little sensitive to temperature and specifically humidity. So it's very important to keep the systems in a very controlled environment. That's part of the process of the quality control. You know, you get a lot of people that get these things and they're trying to print plastics, different plastics, ABS, nylon, and they run into a lot of problems with the quality control on them. And a lot of the times it just has to do with just the temperature. I mean, a very small fluctuation in temperature can cause big issues when you're dealing with these things. And, you know, traditionally they're injection molded, so we're talking about very high pressure that these things would be squished together and then out pops your part. This is a completely different process, so you have to monitor and control all of the variables. So that's why we try and keep things in a nice contained little unit. I've got everything I need. This is by no means my toolbox for working on Ferraris. This is just what I used to kick around in the back of the car when I had to go to a job site and do some work. It's actually a fairly well thought out toolbox, but don't do the track days so much anymore. So retired this box, but everything that I need is in this box for doing this, plus some. But I mean, you better have very basic tools. Excuse me. Have very basic tools to do what is needed, but you want to keep everything contained in one space. And it's good because, you know, especially if you've got pets or kids, you know, like I said, the plastic, it just, when you're cleaning up these things, the parts, you find them everywhere. So you want to keep everything contained. You want to keep the level of safety high. You want to keep the ventilation high. This particular plastic, not so much a big deal, but when you're printing an ABS and nylon, can have a tendency to be pretty fumey. So you want to keep everything contained. All right, so moving on. So the machine that we use at GTO currently is Wanhao Duplicator i3 Plus, which is an FDM type of machine, fused deposition modeling. There's various types of 3D printing machines. This being the most popular type. It's easy to operate, it's very low cost. very readily available. There's probably in the order of 1,000 half decent FDM type of printers out there. Very difficult to figure out which one to choose. We chose this one specifically because we did a lot of research, had some help doing the research. It was, for the price point, it has the same quality as some machines that are 4, 5, and 6 times its price point. So that's why we went with it. Another good point for it is that it's a completely open source machine, so we can get the material wherever we see fit. We're not restricted to the manufacturer's material in the case of some of the machines that are out there. The software is also open source, so we can use whatever software we see fit. We were using some free software at the beginning, Cura, really good software, just wasn't quite getting us to where we wanted to be quality-wise, so we stepped up our game and purchased some software which immediately saw better results as far as the quality of the prints and just the smoothness of the machine itself, which translates into quality of part. So anyways, that's all about the machine. So in a nutshell, that kind of caps up where we wanted to be today on this video. This is just an introduction. Hopefully we can do a lot more videos, but we just basically want to cover who we are, and what we do, why we do it in such a tiny little space, and the reasons for having a dedicated makerspace versus just having a printer just laying around on the kitchen counter. Not really a good idea if that's something that you want to get started doing. I strongly advise not doing it. And I guess the future would be, if we do have future videos, hopefully we do. We will. We're not going to focus on, how to do modeling. We're not going to focus on how to use the machine specifically. There's lots of videos out there doing that. What we want to focus on is specifically what would you use it for. Anybody who's going to get one of these things is going to get it for their own particular reason. But we specifically have a certain background in the automotive industry, some outdoors type of stuff, some lightweight type of things. So we have certain directions that we like to go in, and I've personally found that until you start doing it and figuring out what is possible with the machine, you kind of don't really figure out what it is that you would use it for. I mean, everybody says, oh, that's an amazing thing, 3D printing, that's really cool, it's the way of the future, but ask yourself a question. If you had one right now, what would you do with it? So that's going to be our future, is trying to enlighten the audience as to what is the capabilities of this manufacturing revolution. And that's about it. So yeah, just to recap, that's us, Graytoqueops. This little space in the corner of nowhere is where we do our thing, and this is the gear that we do it with. And hopefully we can have some more videos posted of some different types of tricks of the trade, and what would you use our services for, if that's our thing, and to explore the future of this manufacturing process. So anyways, signing off, it's Jay at Graytoqueops, and thank you for watching. Take care.